Hello the internet! It is Friday the 14th of July 2017. Homebrew is ready to be bottled. On a previous vlog, I showed you how I brew my homebrew beer. Now the beer has been sitting for 2 weeks approx, and it is ready to be bottled. That's the process today. Let's bottle the brew. First step in the bottling process is to clean the bottles. Most important. Right now I have two batches going on here. I have this batch and this batch. This batch here is soaking in hot soapy water. I'm gonna tip the soapy water out, then I'm gonna put this batch in the hot soapy water. Gonna give them a good thorough shaking around and make sure there's no anything, there can't be any crap in there. Then I'm gonna take them over there and rinse them out with fresh water to make sure the soap is gone. The soap has to be gone, that's crucial. This is definitely a lengthy process, so if you don't have patience, probably not for you. The bottles are now clean, but they're covered in detergent, so they've got to be rinsed and rinsed very thoroughly. I'm gonna rinse them, but first I'm taking this. It's way too hot. Middle of winter in Australia, but it's too hot to wear a jacket, jumper, a pullover, a sweater, whatever you call it. It's also time for NSD. NSD, this episode is the Raw Republic from Sweden. The Raw Republic were a band that we toured with in 2011. I believe I've done a Raw Republic NSD previously, and I showed you plenty of video from that tour. When I say we, I mean Tracer and myself. So instead of showing you more video from that tour, how about I show you some photos? There's 2 times that I've photographed outside of that tour, and that was once in Germany, Southside Festival 2012. Then later on in 2012 they made their appearance in Australia. It was lovely having those boys in the country. They did the Soundwave tour. Now if you like the Raw Republic and you want to pick up a print of the photos that I'm going to show you, you can do that on my website. Details will be in the description of this video. You want to snag a little 15% discount, just use the code GIVESAMINUTE-ROYALREPUBLIC, all one word, all uppercase. I'll also put that in the description. That'll give you 15% off prints.
The day ends, ask her out, not a date, just a make amends. Apology accepted, as you can their fancy place. The waiter, Mr. Cable, kicks in under the table. To fight is not allowed. We can see your underwear down here. We can see your underwear down here. We're not even gonna lie. Captain Icon, we can see your underwear down here. We can see your underwear from down here. Not even on the line, baby, this is Captain
I showed you this last time, but I always use rainwater from this rainwater tank when I'm doing my homebrew, and this process uses a lot of water to clean the bottles. Might as well use the rainwater. So this is the tedious process. I use this to rinse out these bottles 3 times. It's literally a case of just rinsing each bottle repeatedly. And that's it. Now do it 36 more times. So now that the bottles are clean, washed with detergent, they've been rinsed very, very thoroughly, now they've got to be sterilized. How I sterilize is boiling water. I've got some Pot's on the stove right now boiling. This process you shouldn't waste much time with. You should put the boiling water in, and then straight away you should add the sugar, which is going to give the beer the carbonation. I'm going to go and get the fermenter and put it here. Then I'm going to sterilize all the bottles. I'm going to add the sugar and I'm going to start putting the beer in and capping it. You don't want to waste much time with this. You don't want to have any potential bacteria or anything falling into the beer. You just want to do it as quick as possible. This isn't much fun to carry, I can tell you now. So with this process of sterilizing the bottles, I just use a funnel, pour the boiling water in, boil it all around, do the next one, the next one, the next one. Again, it's a lengthy process, but it's a process that you have to get right. You have to sterilize everything. Got my lovely leaking kettle here of boiling water. You want to make sure all areas of glass get sterilized, so every part of the bottle inside has to get touched by the boiling water. Just do this 35 more times, and we're good to go. I've got some extra water on the boil here in pots, so I'm going to use that as well. Now that the bottles are completely sterilized, the next step of the process is to add the sugar into the bottles. Now, keeping with the process before, I used brown sugar in the wort. I'm going to use brown sugar in the bottle. This beer is a porter. It's a dark beer. Brown sugar is going to give it just a little bit of extra flavor. Now, there are definitely measurements you should be using for this. I'm a little bit more relaxed about it all, and it has been to my detriment on a brew 2 batches ago, which you would have seen on the vlog. Whenever I opened one of those beers, it just went like champagne. I'm going to be a little bit more precise with it, but I'm still just using half a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more than half a teaspoon. That's the general amount. Yes, you might do it differently. I'm sure you do. I don't really care too much about it. I'm not that much of a precision brewmaster. Now that the sugar is in the bottle, the next process and the last process is putting this beer into these bottles and adding the caps. The caps are called crown seals. I'm not 100% certain why. I guess it's something to do with medieval, modern history. I don't know. The crown, the king, the queen, they put the seal on their beer. I don't know. I've got a device here which will help with the capping process, and I've got the crown seals here which I buy on eBay in bulk. Now this thing is still bubbling, and I know that there's going to be some brewers out there going, yeah, you shouldn't be bottling it if it's still bubbling. What are you doing? You're going to explode beer bottles. That's not actually 100% accurate. I've bottled plenty of brews before when the airlock's still bubbling. It doesn't make a difference. In all of my entire life of bottling home brews, I've only had one explode. This thing here, first of all, I've got to sterilize this because it's going to touch the brew. Now that that's sterilized, this thing here is just a little spring-loaded release mechanism. You'll see how it works once it starts moving, but this just goes in here. This thing always leaks, that's fine. You're always going to get a little bit of beer on the floor. That's why I do it outside. I'll take this guy out now. And this is how you bottle. Take a bottle, grab this guy. First one's always going to have a little bit of extra sediment. I don't mind the sediment. You just put this under here and push up. Take a seal, put this under here. And that is a finished homebrew. In 1 month from now, I will open this. And that is how you bottle a homebrew. Now I'll do it 35 more times approximately. And that's pretty much all there is to it. This is how many long necks I got out of that. Now, I understand there may be plenty of people that brew beer a lot differently than the way I do it. There may be techniques that I don't know about. If you got something that you want to tell me that's going to make this process faster or smoother or more efficient. And look, I don't drink an awful lot of beer. I know I drink a lot of homebrew on my vlog, but I don't booze every night, and I would rather have homebrews in my cupboard for whenever guests are around, whenever I want to have a beer, instead of always going and buying. And if I do buy beers, it's always Cooper's, because that's closest to the homebrew as possible, and also the secondary benefit of having the bottle. Speaking of having a beer, there is 2 more of Dronus 4x4's beers left. There is no sun going to happen, no sunset, but I'm going to go down anyway, take a quick skate down to Como and have a beer. I am really pushing for time. It's late. There's going to be no sunset because of this cloud. I don't even know why I'm coming down here, because I'm going to get there and it's going to be all over. I just didn't want to sit at home with the last of Dronus's beers. The reason he sent those to me was, quote unquote, to keep me vlogging through the winter, and I don't think he means sitting at home drinking a beer and making some token half attempt at a vlog. He means getting out and seeing stuff. And I know this spot really well, and it's quick and easy. That's definitely the fastest I've pushed this skateboard. GT mode, flat stick, down a hill, rushing to get here, and I went straight past a cop. They 100% saw me because they were right on me, and they didn't stop. And this is what I came down here for. It was worth it, I guess, I hope. Oh well, Dronus, I came down here and I'm happy I did. It's a little cold, it's still winter. This is the last of the stouts from the beers that you sent me, Dronus, and it is a cold winter evening, afternoon/evening. There's no sun, and this is probably the best time to have a Cooper's Stout. It's a winter's beer, and I'm appreciating this, Dronus. Thank you. What's on my lens? Get off there. Dronus, I'm appreciating this. Thank you so much for sending me these beers. It has definitely kept me vlogging through the winter, and I hope you've enjoyed the content. And also, I hope you don't mind me giving these beers to other YouTubers. So you saw Jordan Pike have one, you saw Jay Boston have one, and you've seen me have the rest. Thank you very much. I've just come out of that tunnel I had to go through to get to the sunset spot, and those cops that I was worried about on the way down here are waiting for me right there. They want to talk to me about the electric skateboard and about how the legalities of this on the road. So I guess I have to go and talk to them about it. Oh, that's we're out of time. What? I know, I can't believe it either. I keep running out of time on my vlog. But seriously, if you dig the vibe, please subscribe. You can check out my previous vlog here and a random vlog there. And if you like taking photographic photos on a photographic camera, you might want to check out my Lightroom 6 presets here.